All right, guys. So it goes without saying that many of us tried to warn you about the stupidity of electing Donald Trump in the first place because he's incompetent and has absolutely no fucking clue what he's doing. But also all of the economic issues that we warned you about. Not only are they here, not only are they going to get worse, but a huge chunk of it is going to be irreversible. It's going to be permanent. And it doesn't require a whole lot of brain power to understand why. The United States was already, before Trump, on shaky ground. We have this pattern of a Republican or Democrat takes office, and then 4 years later, the opposite party gets power, and they just absolutely demolish everything the last one did. And none have done this to the extent of Donald Trump, though. So, what happens when you're an outside force, like an outside country? Well, you lose trust. The reason why is because why the fuck would you ever honor an agreement with the United States when you treat them like we did Iran, or like we're treating Mexico now, like we're treating Canada? These are all of our number one fucking trade partners, and like general, not even just trade. That we're extremely close allies. Were, I should say. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that we get someone with a brain after Donald Trump. They rectify the situation and they do their best to try to enter the global stage again, which is a good thing, by the way. Um, all of this isolationist stupidity, like, talk to an economist. Understand what happened to Japan during its isolationist period, like during and just before World War II. It's not smart. The entire reason why the United States became a global superpower in the first place is due to globalism. You may not want to hear that, but it's simply the truth. It's a fact. We are nothing without the rest of the world. Nothing. Um. Anyhow, I got off on a tangent. I'm trying to remember what my initial point was. What the hell was I going on about? Yeah, how it's permanent. If you are Japan, China, Mexico, Canada, anything like that, what you see is that, okay, we might get a better president that's more interested in like mutual trade, that's not like a bully bullshit fucking trying to like take advantage and not even trying to hide it. But 4 years later, that may change. Not to mention, the US has a history now, a long history of backstabbing their fucking allies. All of the people in Afghanistan that wanted, they had hope for, now some people will say this isn't true, but from my perspective, they had hope for freedom and for like women to actually be treated as uh, equal to their male counterparts. And all of that got fucking destroyed after we broke all of our promises and we just fucking left them on their own. And that was under Joe Biden, by the way, or part of it anyway. So it's not like I'm like trying to fucking uh, cover for Joe or anything. It's that the culmination of all this. So first, no one has even come close to destroying the goodwill toward the United States as Donald Trump. Not even close. There's not even a close second. Like he is absolutely fucking despised by all people. Well, not all people. There's always going to be your cult members, but worldwide, on average, he's fucking hated. And it's obvious to see why. Look at what he keeps fucking doing. Japan actually showed up and was like, okay, what do you want? We're just looking to at least find out what you're wanting out of these tariffs, and like they didn't even fucking know. They're like, what are you going to give us? And they're like, what do you want? And they didn't even fucking have an answer. Like this is the most retarded, incompetent fucking group ever. Like they have no fucking clue what they're doing. So Japan left, and they're thinking the same as basically all the other fucking allies we used to have. Like, fuck them. Like their fucking economy's tanking. They fucking turn their backs on everyone that was always there for them. Like, why? What benefit would it hold for us to fucking deal with them anymore? And the truth is, from an outsider's perspective, there's not really any good reason to fucking trust the United States, especially under Donald Trump. But again, when like, okay, we destroy, just for an example, we destroy trade with Canada, right? What happens? Canada finds other trading partners. This is very basic shit. And when they find other trading partners, that's permanent. They're not going to find someone else and get new deals, probably better deals, if we're being honest, and kind of get their economy situated again. And then we decide like 3 years later that like we've had a change of heart. They're not going to like cut off their other fucking trade deal. Like that's not going to happen. Which means these tariffs and this trade war shit, it isn't just now under Trump. We are fucked. And this is what happens when you put a fucking moron in charge. Anyhow, got a couple of things to cover here. All right, this is ABC News. Trump has the lowest, let me make sure it's right. It is. Trump has lowest 100-day approval rating in 80 years poll. Donald Trump has the lowest 100-day job approval rating of any president in the past 80 years, with public pushback on many of his policies and extensive economic discontent, including broad fears of a recession, according to a new ABC News Washington Post / Ipsos poll. Yet he still beats the Democrats in Congress in terms of trust to handle the nation's main problems, which is sad. 39% of respondents in the ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll said they approve of how Trump is handling his job as president, down 6 percentage points from February, while 55% said they disapprove. And I would wager that a huge chunk of that 39% are the hardliners, the cult members. They'll never, it doesn't matter what he does, they'll always be behind him. The previous low in approval for a president at or near 100 days in office and polls dating to 1945 was Trump's 42% in 2017. He destroying his own fucking record. Perhaps most threatening, oh, here's another interesting little, I'm not going to click on it, but more Americans say U.S. should bring back Abrego Garcia, views mixed on other deportation issues. Perhaps most threatening to Trump, given his promise of an economic turnaround, is the extent of negative views on the economy. 72% said they think it's very or somewhat likely that his economic policies will cause a recession in the short term. 73% said the economy is in bad shape. 53% said it's gotten worse since Trump took office, and 41% said their own finances have worsened, which is as many as those who said so under President Joe Biden last summer. Here's a chart showing Trump at 100 days. His job approval rating, 39% approve, 55% disapprove. The economy since Trump took office, 21% said better. Those are your fucking Trump diehard cult members. So legitimately, I would say it's 0. Even though even that alone is extremely fucking low. But then we've got 53% says it's worse, 25% says same. How in the fuck could people think it's the same? Wow. Anyway, process for things you want or need. 62% said things are going up, 11% said things are going down or have gone down, and 27% said the same. Likelihood of Trump's policies causing a recession. 72% say that it's likely that his policies are going to cause a recession. 26% says unlikely. 62% said prices, which as a candidate Trump pledged to curb, are rising. 71% said they see his tariffs as a negative factor in price inflation. And just 31% in this poll, produced for ABC by Langer Research Associates with fieldwork by Ipsos, said they accept Trump's argument that the economy will emerge with a stronger foundation for the long term. By the way, like, we're quoting, or we're getting the polls of everyday people. Like, people aren't economists, but we do have actual economists, and I haven't found one yet, one legitimate economist who said anything positive about Trump's fucking tariffs, because they're stupid. Negative assessments go beyond the economy. 65% said Trump's administration is trying to avoid complying with federal court orders, and 64% said he's going too far and trying to expand presidential powers. This is a polite way of saying Donald Trump is a fascist, and this is what we warned you about ahead of time, and everyone went, you're exaggerating. You're just freaking out. You've got Trump derangement syndrome. Now a vast majority of the country agrees. 62% said they don't think his administration respects the rule of law. Majorities also expressed concern that the president will do too much to reduce the size and role of government. 58% argued he'd acted beyond his authority as president without justification. 56%, and doubted the Trump administration's commitment to protecting citizens' rights and freedoms. 55%. 65% say that Trump views on Trump and his administration's actions. I want to have to look forward because this don't make sense to me. Anywhere from 57 to 67% of Americans say they disapprove of Trump's performance on 6 of 7 issues tested in this survey, including at least 6 and 10 on his handling of stock market volatility, tariffs, foreign relations, and the economy overall. What I don't get is whether this is showing approval or disapproval. Based on the polls that we saw above. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Going too far to expand presidential power, 64%. Doesn't respect the rule of law, 62%. Concerned he'll do too much to reduce the size and role of government, 58%. By the way, we warned you that that's all according to plan. He wants to become like Putin. He wants to be a fucking mob boss in the United States. He's trying to, like, it's why he loves him so much. He's a dictator. Or at least he wants to be a dictator. And he's done everything he can to destroy any checks and balances. He's done everything he's done has been beginning stages fucking fascism 101. Has gone beyond his authority without justification, 56%. Not committed to protecting Americans' freedoms, 55%. Trump approval on the issues. Immigration, 46% approve, 53% disapprove. Managing the federal government, 42% approve, 57% disapprove. Looking out for the interests of average Americans, 41% approve and 58% disapprove. The economy, 39% approve, 61% disapprove. U.S. relations with other countries, 38% approve, 61% disapprove. Tariffs on imported goods, 34% approve, 64% disapprove. The recent turmoil in the stock market, 31% approve, 67% disapprove. Views on Trump initiatives. Reducing federal funding for medical research, 21% say support, 77% oppose. That seems to be the biggest so far. And it makes sense. They're funding fucking medical research to save fucking lives. And Trump, he doesn't have any morality at all. And another thing, he's fucking taking all of this for fucking rich fucking billionaires and shit. He's not doing this and then giving the money back to the people. And even if he did, it would still be fucked. Increasing the federal government's role in how private universities operate, 28% support, 70% oppose. Ending birthright citizenship, under which anyone born in the United States is a U.S. citizen, 31% support, 67% oppose. Shutting down the U.S. Department of Education, 33% support, 66% oppose. Freezing foreign aid providing food, health services, and disease prevention services for people in poor countries, 36% support, 62% oppose. Cutting back environmental regulations on oil and gas drilling, 37% support, 61% oppose. Deporting international students who have criticized U.S. policy in the Middle East, 39% support, 59% oppose. Sending undocumented immigrants who are suspected of being members of a criminal group to a prison in El Salvador without a court hearing, 47% support, 51% oppose. An interesting part to that is we have evidence that Trump put up a picture. He showed a picture of, I believe it was Abrego Garcia, pretty sure, with his fist, and it had the MS-13 deal, and it was faked. It was doctored. He just fucking made the shit up, and they fucking doctored a picture to make it look as if he was a fucking gang member, so that no one would question and look further into it. So fucked up. And people keep on fucking falling for his fucking lies. I'm not going to go through all this. This is a really long, interesting article. It goes into approval, presidential job approval at or near 100 days. This is since Truman. Trump is right here. His approval rating is the lowest of all. And his disapproval rating is the highest of all. Surprise, surprise. Cutting government, courts and compliance, foreign relations, and Russia. Yeah, I'll include the link to this so you guys can look into it. There's one more quick thing I wanted to go over.
All right, guys. So the Japanese delegation came to the U.S. and they were looking to talk to the U.S. about the tariffs and try to make some sort of a deal. And let's just say it was an absolute unmitigated disaster what happened. Now, it's not just Japan that did this. And by the way, they were one of our top partners. It's also Mexico, who, again, is one of our top partners. They talked to the U.S., try to figure out, hey, what the hell's going on? Can we make a deal? What's up with these tariffs, et cetera? And it was the same. Japan and Mexico both came out saying the same thing. We got nothing accomplished, right? But wait until you hear the reason nothing was accomplished. So here we have the former Assistant Secretary of Defense, Chaz Freeman. And he comes out and he tells everybody what the U.S.'s position is here. And this will show you just how much there is no captain of the ship. There is no philosophy leading the way here. There is no grand vision. The patients have taken over the asylum here. Listen to what he says. Watch this.
The White House claims that there are direct talks going on somehow with the Chinese. I don't believe it. I think what is happening is what I described earlier. The Chinese are maintaining contact with us, routine contact. There is no negotiation going on. The Japanese have just been in Washington, and their experience apparently was they went to talk to the American leadership on this matter, and the American leadership said, "What are you offering?" And the Japanese said, "Well, what is it that you want?" And the Americans could not explain what they wanted. This is a cockamamie approach to negotiation. And I think the Chinese, having observed the United States break virtually every agreement it has agreed to in recent years, including the replacement for NAFTA with proposed tariffs on Canada and Mexico, that was negotiated by Mr. Trump in his first term. And yet he felt free to abandon it and repudiate it. What's the incentive to negotiate with the United States when the United States has no stated objectives that make sense and no record of compliance with its own agreements? So I don't think there is. I think the Chinese have decided that they will wait us out and see how Americans like Walmart and Amazon denude of products. 60% of Walmart's products originate in China. They're all tariffed.
Do you understand how dire this situation is, what this man just laid out for you? So the Japanese delegation goes, "What do you want?" They go, "Hey, what are you going to give us?" They go, what do you want?" And they go, "I don't know." Are you out of your fucking mind? This is the global economy that we're talking about here. You do this tariff strategy, and you're like, we don't even really know what the end goal is here. We don't even know what the point is. Are you... Okay, so understand this, guys. We don't know what we want from any of the countries involved that we tariffed, which, by the way, is fucking all of them, right? What? The only countries that were excluded were ones we don't trade with, like Russia and North Korea, I guess, right? Then you have 25% on Canada, 25% on Mexico, 10% on everybody else, and like over 200% on China at the moment. So the result of that is going to be no more Chinese products here. And a very large percentage of the market are Chinese products, right? And then he said, "Oh, we're going to exempt electronics," but actually, no, I don't mean that. We're not going to exempt electronics. So we don't know what we want. We don't tell anybody what we want. We don't know what we're doing. And then the most important and devastating point here, guys, is this. Even if we make an agreement, the world knows we don't abide by them anyway. Go ask Iran how good the U.S. is to its word when we make an agreement. We made the deal with them, the nuclear deal, JCPOA, or whatever the acronym was, right? The Iran nuclear agreement. Then Trump pulls out of it and berates them. And meanwhile, they had followed it literally over a dozen times, according to the IAEA. They were in perfect compliance. Then we ripped up the agreement, and now Trump has chastised them. You got to make another deal. You got to make another. Why would they make another deal when we had a perfect deal? They followed it, and then we pulled out and ripped it up. How do they know you're not going to change your mind in a year or a day, or the next guy's not going to come in and fucking throw that one out the window? How did they know that? Paris Climate Agreement. The world was in, and he goes, we're just going to rip that up. World Health Organization. Homie pulled out of the World Health Organization. Yeah, I'm sure there's no downsides to that. So, and the point this guy makes is, Trump has had the USMCA negotiated with Canada. He negotiated with Canada. It was NAFTA. He goes, we need to make some changes. So they made some minor changes. Then they had the USMCA. Then Trump comes in and goes, this Canada trade deal is the worst thing I've ever seen. We got to get rid of it. We need a new deal. We need tariffs. That's what we need. We need tariffs. You made the deal. You are trashing your own deal and pulling out of your own deal. So again, understand what's happening here. We don't know what we want. We literally can't even tell them what we want. We don't abide by our own agreements anyway. So the world has zero incentive to put up with our bullshit anymore. And that's why right now, as I talk to you, the market is tanking, but it's not just the market. The dollar is tanking. We are, as I'm talking to you right now, we are 3 percentage points away from a historic low for the dollar. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? The world is dumping the dollar. It is not long for this earth as the world reserve currency. Well, the whole thing propping up our economy was the low cost of consumer goods and the fact that the dollar is the world reserve currency. As soon as those things go away, no more cheap consumer goods, and the dollar is no longer the world reserve currency, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? I'll tell you what, the house of cards is going to fall. the giant bubble in the economy is going to burst. We're going to have stagflation. We're going to have massive unemployment at the same time prices are going up. We're going to have pain the likes of which we haven't seen since the Great Depression. That's what's going to happen. And there's been 5-alarm fire blaring since fucking liquidation day, as I call it, right? And what? We're still right where we were at the beginning, except in a worse scenario, because now the world knows we can't fucking trust these people. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chinese century. The Chinese century is here. The question is, how much can we attempt to mitigate the pain that's going to be felt in America? Because there's going to be a tremendous amount of pain felt in this country. So, look, my guess is Trump is looking to get literally a piece of the action, like a mob boss. Hey, yeah, I'll lower your tariff rate, but you got to give me a percentage point. Or I'll lower your tariff rate, but you got to give me X amount of millions of dollars, right? Just straight up, no holds barred, most obvious corruption of all time. That's one potentiality. The other thing is he just truly is ideologically married to this idea of tariffs. And the end goal would be, let's do tariffs, which is a tax on the working class effectively, while at the same time massively cutting taxes for multimillionaires and billionaires and corporations. Right? And so it's a way to do the old reversal, right? Let's not have a progressive tax system. Let's have a regressive tax system. Let's make the bottom 95% pay everything. And let's let the wealthiest get away scot-free. Because Trump always talked about 1890s were the best time in America. We're richer than we've ever been. What was the 1890s? It was the Gilded Age. 10 people had everything. Everybody else was fighting for the crumbs. We had child labor. People lived in tenement homes. 10 people living in a small, tiny one-room apartment. Right? This is what he wants. This is what he wants. Probably a mix of all of these things is what's going on. But this is, even with that, there's a grand evil plan, but they're also massive fucking idiots, and they don't know how to land the plane, dog. Like, if they wanted to do this nefarious evil master plan, okay, you could try to pull it off, but worst you'd ever want to deal with is a recession, not a depression, right? Well, we're heading for a fucking depression. Jesus Christ. It's happening so quickly, right? The unraveling is happening at a record clip. And we're all watching it happen, knowing that all these decisions are cooking us, and there's nothing we can fucking do about it. I mean, people are doing what they can, right? They're getting out there, hands-off protests, making their voice heard. You got the courts trying to hold up their end of the bargain and check this administration with all the illegality. But, I mean, it's fucking bull in a china shop type shit. And we're all going to feel the pain as a result of it. And, in fact, we're fucking feeling it right now. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and
Absolutely right, as usual. And some people are bringing up, like, why do you keep pointing out that you were, or that I was right? It's not to bolster my own ego. I don't need that. I have absolutely no requirement for any sort of external fucking validation. It's because some of us with brains told everyone this shit long before it happened. Before Trump even ran in his fucking presidential race. We told you about fucking Project fucking 2025, which has been followed almost exactly. We told you about how economists warned about his fucking tax proposals, and that his entire goal is to keep promises to cut fucking taxes on the wealthy, just like he did in his first term. The difference was it would be even more difficult to fucking pay for those this time around, which meant he was going to go after all sorts of important fucking public good functions in the government. Now, I didn't know that he was going to come up with this Doge thing and fucking make up the bullshit excuse that we're getting rid of quote-unquote waste and fraud with absolutely no evidence to try to fucking legitimize it. I didn't know he was going to do that. But I did know that he was eventually going to have to target Social Security and Medicare/Medicaid. Because it's the only way to get that much money. All of the other shit combined isn't enough to pay for his fucking wealthy bullshit fucking privilege fund that fucks over the entire rest of the country. And so my point is, we fucking told you this. We didn't just say, hey, this is what's going to happen. We gave you fucking details. We gave you evidence. And you still didn't fucking listen. And you put this motherfucking piece of shit, retarded motherfucker in office. So for me, the entire fucking country is unraveling. As Kyle said, the fucking dollar is drowning and fucking going down the drain. And it's going to affect everyone, not just in the United States, but globally. It's huge. And about the only thing I have that gives me any semblance of joy is the fact that, one, I didn't take part in this shit because I fucking I spoke out against this stupid fucking orange buffoon way before he even fucking tried to fucking run a campaign. Two, I actively gave evidence to why he was a fucking threat to democracy. And people went, oh, you're exaggerating. Yeah, typical leftist. No, it wasn't emotional. It's fucking evidence. His entire history has been con jobs. That alone should have fucking tipped you off. But no one fucking learned. No one fucking listened. It's like they fucking stuck their fingers in their fucking ears and went la 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 la. For what? What did you think you were going to get out of this? So, again, I bring up the I told you so because that at least gives me fucking something. Because I am not responsible for this stupid shit that's destroying all of fucking America. And pretty much the globe, especially if they have really close relations with the United States, which is most of the fucking world, at least before Trump. This is going to create a cascade, a domino effect that's going to fuck over all sorts of countries. So again, I do the I told you so because it makes me fucking feel better. And because I did. It's true. And I'm typically not the type of person to do that, but this is a very extreme case, and it's warranted because you're fucking idiots. And like at this point, I have absolutely no hope that you will change, that you'll learn. You're useless, retarded people. You're lost causes. And no, that's not just like me being pissed off that I lost, or it's not about that. I didn't lose. In fact, I'm in probably better shape than a majority of the country in terms of being able to ride this out. What I mean is everyone is fucked unless you're part of the 1%. And you could have listened. You could have fucking, instead of being arrogant and thinking that your emotions, your wishful thinking would fucking trump over actual evidence and facts. You could have listened to people that are fucking smarter than you. And that's what everyone should do. That's what I do. If I don't understand something, I look to people that are smarter than me and more educated in the specific field that I need to look into. That's what they're there for. But yeah, we are where we are. And at least, even if he completely backs down, as he's already started, he fucking basically blinked and fucking lost the China deal, the trade war anyway. to some extent, even if China decides to fucking extend an olive branch, which is looking pretty doubtful at this point, so as I said in the very beginning, some of this is permanent, or at least close to permanent. It's going to take a long time for the fucking world to trust us again, all because you put a fucking buffoon in office that had absolutely no clue about politics. And this is why, and I said the same thing about fucking people were going crazy about the Rock 2025 or whatever. You do not elect people that don't have experience in fucking like understanding the Constitution, how the fucking government works, like the ins and outs of being part of the executive branch. These are important fucking things. You don't take a person that's known for saying you're fired on some retarded fucking show because he's a celebrity and fucking put him in as the leader of the fucking free world. You're fucking retarded. Only in the United States would some shit like that fucking happen. Well, maybe elsewhere, I don't know. But it's, in any case, it's fucking stupid, and we're rightfully the laughingstock of most of the fucking world right now. I hope you're happy. Thank you for your time.